My God, people, stop it. The Jamaican accent is not an African dialect.
You are the only ones who don't know where you're from, and it's really sad. Yes, you speak Patois. What do you think Patois is made up of? A lot of it is African words.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am the Kenyan Beast. Now, today I'm going to talk about Patois language, Patois. Yeah, the Patois language, because I've been going through social media and I've seen a lot of history, a lot of stereotypes about the language of Patois language. Everyone want to know Patois. Here in Kenya, we learn so hard to know about Patois language. I've seen white people trying to learn Patois language, and you know, Patois language is so sweet. I call it Patois language, but some people call it broken English. Patois, as far as I know, is a language. And as I was going across the social media, I came across this video. Do you remember the Sister Chin, the Chinese lady who was saying Jamaicans, they don't know their history? She said about Patois too, about Patois not being an African language.
Ministry of Education, I have a bone to pick with you. Why are so many Jamaicans ignorant of their own history? Why so much dunce people in my comment section? Oh my God, people, stop it. The Jamaican accent is not an African dialect. The Jamaican accent, like everything associated with modern Jamaican heritage, is in fact the byproduct of the cultural melting pot that our motto embraces. In fact, in terms of cadence, it's most similar to an Irish accent.
I've been shook enough now, to be honest, since the racing. A bit tired now and the legs are like jelly, but yeah, I suppose we did a bit of celebrating and did the podium thing and got to put on the podium pants as well.
You see, as early as 1656, Oliver Cromwell ordered 2,000 Irish children to be taken to Jamaica and sold to English settlers. The extent of Irish immigration to Jamaica was so prolific in the centuries to follow that 25% of Jamaican citizens can claim Irish ancestry. And this includes Bob Marley and Marcus Garvey. So if you never know, now you know.
And two, you want to react on this, but let's listen to this.
So you think you're English? You think you're Anglo-Saxon? I wish some of you would go to England and say some of these things to these white people, because they'll quickly put you in your place and tell you to go back to Africa. You are the only ones who don't know where you're from, and it's really sad. Yes, you speak Patois. What do you think Patois is made up of? A lot of it is African words. And if you really want to know what tribes we came from, it's so easy. Just look at the language that we speak, which is Patois. A lot of the words are from the Ashanti tribe. I'm just surprised that a lot of Jamaicans don't know these things. You know, it's basic history, really. But it just shows you how much the education system has failed us, because we don't know ourselves. Most Jamaicans struggle with English. In fact, not just Jamaicans. Most black people in the West who speak the language of their colonizers struggle with the language. That's why you end up with Creole and Patois. We have to mix up the African in there to express ourselves. English is not ours. It belongs to another group of people. Languages are born out of a culture. English didn't come from us. There are so many simple things that tell us who we are. There's so much African retention around us, including the fact that we speak Patois. It's not rocket science, and it's just shameful to see this display of ignorance on social media.
First of all, a lot of people are saying Patois is an African mixture of language that created Patois, and some of them are saying Patois is not from Africa. So let me try to educate few people who maybe don't know, or those who know too. You can comment down there, where is Patois originated, and is Patois broken English, or Patois is a language? For me, I believe Patois is a language. Now,
so I've been receiving a lot of challenges to my assertion that Jamaican Patois is in fact a language, and most people challenge this idea because obviously in Jamaican Patois, as it is popularly spoken, we use a whole heap of English word, a lot of English vocabulary. Well, in linguistics, vocabulary is called lexis, but there are other components of linguistics that define and give expression to what a language is. For For example, phonology, yeah, the sounds, the basic units that make up the language. Morphology, the basic units of the language that actually convey meaning. For example, suffixes and prefixes. Syntax, how you bring the phonemes, the morphemes, and the lexicon together to create sentences. Semantics, how all of the above is used to convey meaning. Pragmatics, how the language is functionally used in order to achieve particular goals in relation to communication. So from a linguistic point of view, when you subject Jamaican Patois and all of the various different creoles that we have in the Americas to that kind of linguistic analysis, the Africanness, the real Africanness of our languages is actually revealed. And one of the blockages here to us appreciating this is the fact that we often refer to Jamaican Patois or our various different other patois as broken English or broken French. This is a colonial retention because it is considered to be the fact that English is the standard from which all things are judged. So anything that deviates from that standard is a diminishment of that standard, therefore broken English. For example, I had one comment that said it is broken English because we use English word and the English alphabet. First and foremost, there is no such thing as an English alphabet. The alphabet that is used to commonly write in English is derived from the Latin script. It's a Roman alphabet. And English is not a Roman language. And on that point, English is a language that has a lot of words in it from French and other Latin-derived languages, but it is still a Germanic language. Nobody don't call English broken French because it has all of a French word in there. So whilst there are English words in Patois, there are also words that are derived from many African languages, particularly coming from what is called the Niger-Congo basin, all right? So we have Tree and Igbo and Yoruba and Efik and Umbundu and Kikongo, etc., etc. And the deeper you go into the Patois, into deep Patois and the Cromanti language, the more African word you're going to find. But when it comes to morphology, phonology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics, when you line them up against these Niger-Congo languages, you'll start to see the alignments even stronger and even more emphasized. So in truth, the term broken English is a misnomer. In fact, it would be far more appropriate to refer to our various different patois as broken African.
Now, the patois, Jamaican patois, the patois called Jamaican Creole by linguistics, is English-based Creole language with West African, Taino, Irish, Scottish, Gaelic, Spanish, Jewish, Hindu-Western, Portuguese, Chinese, and German influence. So this means the Patois language is being influenced by a lot of languages. They come together and created Patois. This influence are spoken primarily in Jamaica and among Jamaicans in diaspora or the Jamaican diaspora. Words or slang from the Jamaican Patois can be heard in other Caribbean countries, the United Kingdom, New York City, Miami, United States, and Toronto, Canada. The majority of English word in Patois is derived in West African language, which is Akan. From what I've learned from my history is that the Patois language started from way back in the 17th century, where the enslaved people, they were the one who came with this language. Now, it's being said it's a mixture of Portuguese, German, Irish, Jews, West Africa, and all these people who occupied Jamaica at some point. Rumors has it on the ground. History has it on the ground, not rumors, that the slaves, they wanted to find a way to communicate when the colonizer will not hurt them. They wanted to find a way to communicate where the colonizer cannot understand what they are saying. So they came up with this language called Patois language. It was a mixture of Akan language and, the language between West Africa, and they came with this language. So all in all, I just want to tell Africans, those Africans who think Patois is broken English. Patois is not broken English. It's a language. That's from my stand. I don't know. The Jamaicans are here. They can tell me if Patois is broken English. But Patois is a language. And I wish Jamaica could do away with the colonizer language English and they take Patois as their official language. It could be sweet. Because 100%, around 100% of Jamaicans, whether Chinese Jamaicans, whether Spanish Jamaicans, Indian Jamaicans, they are speaking Patois. African Jamaicans, they are speaking Patois. I think Caribbean could take Patois as their official language, Caribbean at large. But let me talk about Jamaica. It will be very sweet, you know. It's like when we here in Africa, we are trying to do away with, we take Swahili to be national language, you know. So, Patois, and something that is being discussed most is that Patois is not African language. Patois was not originated from Africa. That is something that a lot of people are talking about, and it's a very sensitive topic. Not sensitive. It's a topic that have created a lot of conversation there on the internet, that Patois is not African language. When you're trying to say Patois is not African language, you are literally dismissing that Jamaicans are not from Africa. When you are saying that Patois is not an African language, you are displacing that Jamaicans are not Africans. Because if this language was started in 17th century and most of them is from Akan, that means it's straight up from Africa. Wakanda. You know, you understand what I'm saying? I know Chinese Jamaicans will say Patois is not from Africa because Chinese Jamaicans, they don't want to associate themselves with Africa. Indian Jamaicans, they will say it's not from Africa because they will say they don't want to associate themselves with Africa. Spanish Jamaicans will say that Patois is not from Jamaica because they don't want to associate with Africa. Jewish will say it's not from Jamaica because they don't want to associate themselves with Africa. It's not from Africa because, yeah, they don't want. But all in all, what I know is that Patois is a mixture of Jamaican, the language from Ghana, West Africa, the Akan, Twi. When you hear Jamaican speaking and you hear a Ghanaian speaking, there is some intermarriage between Jamaican and Ghanaian language. As far as Africa is concerned, as far as my research is not doing me bad. There is this Sister Ching who said Jamaicans are not Africans, and I've seen a lot of comment on that video, and some of them are saying, yeah, Jamaicans are not Africans. But we are not going to talk about that. I know Jamaicans are Africans, and I know Jamaicans are Chinese, I know Jamaicans are Indians, I know there's Jewish Jamaicans, I know Spanish Jamaicans, I know there is British Jamaica. As far as me, I know that. Yeah. But I know most percentage of Jamaicans are Africans. Yeah. Just today, I was talking about the Patois language. Patois language. There's a lot of history going around it. There's a lot of rumors and a lot of just words going around that Patois is not African. I just want to say Patois is African. That's what I want to say. It's just straight from me. I don't want to sugarcoat it. Just straight from me. Patois is African. It's a mixture of African and a lot of language, the English, everything. But me I say, the Rastafarian, most of them originated from Ethiopia. And if most of the Rastafarian people speak the Patois language, that means originated from Africa. Straight up like that. I think it's something that Patois is very strong, and a lot of community will want to own the Patois language. The Spanish, the British, the what will want to own it. But all in all, I just want to say I'm looking forward for Jamaica to make Patois official language, because Wagwan. Yeah, It's a very sweet language and everybody want to know Patois. So all in all, tell me in the comment section, what do you think about this topic? Is Patois African or not African? Because a lot of people are saying that Patois is not African, but a lot of people are saying that Patois is African, and I am one of them who's saying Patois is African because I believe it's part of Akan language from Ghana, from West Africa. That's my topic. But conversation is going on. I have seen this topic on the social media, and I say let me talk with you, my Caribbean friends, my Jamaican friends. Where is Patois originated according to you? I am the Kenyan Beast, of course. We are doing it the African way every day, every time. Peace be with you.